Hello guys, this is Kathy with Kincaid Special Creations. I have put together 24 of my fall DIYs that I've done over the last couple of years, all together in one spot, hoping that you will be able to enjoy them. So the very first DIY that we have was my bath mat pumpkin. I just took a Dollar Tree pumpkin, the two-sided ones, and I took a Dollar Tree mat, a bath mat, and I just cut around it. I did that because of the different texture on this, so I wanted to have a good texture for my pumpkin. So I just cut out that pumpkin design that I just traced on there, put it up against the pumpkin to see which side I liked it better on, and because this was a two-sided sign, I liked the little lighter color side. So what I did was I just trimmed it up a little bit in order to be able to make it fit better. And then I'm going to take a little bit of hot glue. Now you want to put the hot glue on the side that's fatter. Don't put it on those little thin skinny ones, because if you do, the hot glue will come through and burn your finger. Or use those little protectors, or in my case, one of those little makeup things that you get from the Dollar Tree or Walmart or Kmart or whatever. It works really good. It's silicone, so the hot glue will not stick to it. Now I'm going to take, I believe this is nutmeg paint, but I'm not 100% sure. It's been a long time since I did this particular craft. But I believe that is nutmeg, because that's what I use for most of my fall colors throughout this particular season. And I just painted over the entire bath mat in that brown paint. I thought that was a pretty color, and as you can see, when you paint over all the texture, if you get a little bit too much paint, just simply go through and touch it up, or take it away with a little bit of a paper towel or baby wipe or whatever you got handy. Then I painted the peduncle, the stem. That's hard for me to say peduncle because I've always just called it a pumpkin stem. And that's the way it turned out. Now I'm going to get, I believe I put a Dollar Tree Hello Fall painted in black with a ribbon and a pine cone on the top of it, and added my hanger. The second DIY is going to be my black and white pumpkins. I took 3 pumpkins from Dollar Tree store and painted them in Waverly white. Now I'm taking a pencil and drawing on just some lines so that I can make some little checkerboard design here in a minute. But the first pumpkin that I end up painting, you'll see in just a second, is I paint with Waverly black chalk. It's ink in Waverly, but it's still black chalk paint. And I just took those little ridges in your pumpkin. I just took a paintbrush and painted right down those ribbons. It makes such a beautiful design on those pumpkins. Just have a white pumpkin with white. It would be beautiful if you did it in orange with a brown lines on it, or green with a darker green. The sky's the limits on the colors that you want to paint. I just like the black and white design. I was going for kind of a Mackenzie Child feel for these, but that's just the designs that I chose. Now this one that I sat there and painted the little checkerboard design on, I'm going to paint every other thing in the black. I'm going to leave the other ones white. And then you'll see when I go down, I do offset them in order to get the design that I'm looking for. It's always a good idea to start with an oddball number of lines so that you can end up with your design coming out the way that you want it to. But just play around. I mean, you could use other colors for this. This is traditionally the colors I think that she uses, but then she'll do a little squiggly in, which I did not do. I just wanted the black and white pumpkin with a checkerboard design. And I think they turned out a good display for a shelf setter or a tier tray, whichever one you want to do. I just paint around the top where the stem's going to go back on. And the last pumpkin that I have, I'm still staying with the black and white design, but then this one I'm just putting polka dots. Just little black polka dots on that white background. Simplest project ever. Anybody can do this project. If I could accomplish it and make them turn out to look as pretty as what they do and as pretty as what they look on your shelf, you can do it. So just give it a try. There you go. There's that final one on that one. The next one coming up is, I got to go back to the beginning here. Yeah, my candy bowl. Look at that. There we go. These were are a set of bowls from Dollar Tree store. Has 4 bowls in it. I took 2 of them and glued them together. They'll match up perfectly because they got a little scallop in them. So when you turn the scallop, they'll match up perfectly. I paint the first one in pumpkin orange. That was one of my colors for this season. So I just paint the whole thing in pumpkin orange. You don't have to paint the inside. And if you remember, take the sticker off the bottom of it. One of them, I had forgotten to take the sticker off the bottom of. I had to do it afterwards. But just paint the entire thing and set it aside to dry. The second one I painted in, I believe it is agave paint. That's why I'm telling you take the sticker off the bottom, because first one I didn't. And you do glue it together the same way. Just put you a little bit of hot glue, turn those scallops around till they match up, and put it together. And it sticks almost immediately, and it stayed. A year later, it is still doing just as good as what it did the first time I'd done it. And like I said, this is the agave paint from Waverly. It is a lighter blue. I like it, and I like the color Peacock by Waverly. So either one would work. I like, for the Halloween, I like the little lighter blue. And you do it the same way. You just paint the entire thing. And then when you're done, and it's all nice and dry, you'll put the little stem on it and some leaves. And then this project is completely finished. I put the little yellow leaves on the blue one because I just think it offset it a little better, and the orange one's on the orange, and a little stem on it. There you go. And that one's finished. See, these projects will take you no time at all. They are enjoyable to do. The hardest part of any of the projects in this thing is the waiting on the paint to dry, because it does not dry easily, especially in the fall and the winter time. And this is going to be a cloth pumpkin. All you do is take you something and draw you out a circle, whatever size you want. I just used it's a little bit bigger than a saucer, but any size will do. And just take and draw you a circle around your piece of material and cut it out. And then you're going to take a thicker thread, because you want this thread not to break. I'm just using embroidery thread, but you can use any thicker thread that you got. And you don't have to use the entire 6 strands. You could separate it and use 2 or 3, whatever you want to do. And then I put it through a needle that had a little bit bigger eye, because I can't manage to get it through those little old needles anymore. And it was too thick to go through my self threaders, so I just found me a bigger eyed needle. And you just do kind of like an accordion style pleat all the way around your pumpkin. Just make sure you watch the end of that thread, that you don't pull it all the way through. And you'll just keep doing it all the way around. And when you get it around to where it looks like a little closed-in purse, you're going to take and fill this area with polyfill. And it will make the pumpkins take on the pumpkin shape. So here we are, finished up with the sewing part of it. Going to open it up and put the polyfill in. And like I said, these are easy. You can make them in any color, any type of fabric you want. You could use old t-shirts. You could use dish towels. You could use cotton. You could probably even use burlap. And then I'm just taking my thread and sewing the top of it together and making a knot in it so that it'll hold it in there. Now, don't close that hole completely, because you need to have it open to put your stem in. Now what I'm going to do is take thread and just pull it up and tie it, or not thread, sorry, jute. Pull it up and tie it into the necessary things to make the little indents in the side of the pumpkin. And I just measured it around to see what size I needed, and then I'm going to tie them all on, or hot glue them on, and then I hot glue around the little stem that I put on, and now my pumpkin is done. That's all you make cloth pumpkins. And like I said, you can make it in any type of fabric you want, or whatever. The next DIY up is number 5. It is the 4-way season blocks. It's basically 2 sets of those little blocks that you get from the Dollar Tree store. And then you're going to paint them. You're going to see I start out trying to paint them in yellow. But in just a little bit, I'm going to switch over to the color white, because I was going to paint them in different colors all the way around to represent the seasons, which you could do. But then I decided I would paint the letters in the different colors that's I'm going to put on it instead of the numbers. But if you want to paint the blocks, make sure you paint one side of the block in one color, and then when you switch it over, paint the other side in a different. But since I'm only doing 4 seasons, then I have 6 sides of those blocks. I decided to go on to and paint my letters the colors that I wanted to use, which in the spring is Maize by Waverly. Then I have Peacock by Waverly, and I have Pumpkin by Waverly for autumn, and Crimson by Waverly for the winter sign. So here you'll see that I switched over and I'm painting them all white, because I figured all 6 sides could be painted white. And now they're done. You want to leave one side, or you don't have to paint one side because you're going to glue them all together. So, and make sure you clean off any glue that might stick out. Put them all together. They match up pretty good, not 100%, because you know anything you get from Dollar Tree is not exactly all the same size. Probably happens no matter where you get it at, but most of my stuff comes from Dollar Tree. So now we're going to take our letters and put them on our block. It's going to spell spring, and then summer, autumn, and winter. The reason that I chose the word autumn instead of fall is because it has 6 letters. There's 6 blocks and 6 letters. No more complicated than that. However, when you set them up, whatever season it is, you can turn that season to the outside of your shelf, and now you have a beautiful display that can be used year-round. And it turned out really pretty. I'm going to, you can decorate it on the side when you get ready to set it on your shelf. Oh, I forgot. Yes, I think I only did it on spring. I wrote all the way around that one on spring. I left the other ones the way they were. But when you set it up on the shelf, you can put, for the spring, you can set little flower vases beside it. For summer, you could put little beach balls beside it. For autumn, I chose to put 2 little acorns beside it. And then in wintertime, you could put either stars or Christmas trees or anything just setting up beside it. And that makes your perfect 4-season display that you can use at any time. So if you want to try it, just give it a shot. Oh, I did do the winter ones. Okay, this next DIY is a double-sided pumpkin. I bought this pumpkin at a percentage off sale at Dollar General store. So I had let it sit in my stash for a while, so it had got a little bit dusty. So here I am taking off the sign that they had on it, because I don't want to have that on there. And I will take a baby wipe and clean it all up. Just wipe all the dust and dirt and everything that got on it through its setting spell in my storage room. And then on the back, you'll see it still has the Dollar General sticker on it. So I'm going to take a scraper here in a second, spray it down with a little bit of water, and just scrape off those stickers. You need to do that because you need to have a straight surface to paint on. On this side of the pumpkin, I am going to take the pumpkin chalk paint by Waverly, and I'm going to paint that whole front in that, because that orange on that pumpkin was just a little bit darker than what I wanted. So just, get it all painted up. You don't have to paint the sides, because we're just going to have that one be the one-sided thing. Dry it real good so that when you turn it over, you can paint the back side a black color. Oh, I forgot I'd put 2 coats of paint on that. That's good deal. Just dry it again. Then, like I said, guys, it's been a while since I did these particular projects, so forgive me if I'm a little bit lax in it. Okay, and this side I'm going to paint solid black. Ink by Waverly is the color that I chose. That seems to be the best black I've run across. There's probably more. I have not used all different varieties of paint. I would like to try out the DIY paint at some point, but right now I'm trying to use up stuff that's in my stash, so I don't want to have to purchase anything more until I get this stuff used up. So in the future, look for me to be trying out different paints. So this one is just, I'm just touching up any spots that left the other color on it. Getting ready to bring out a sticker that I created on, I'm going to do the orange side first. This is the letter K. I believe these letters were thrifted from somewhere, but you can buy these big letters at Walmart or any craft store. I think even Dollar Tree has some. I'm not sure that they're this size or not. But this is, of course, K for Kincaid. So I'm going to put it on the orange side. And on the back side, on the black, I printed out or cut out a thing with my Cricut design that says just simply trick or treat. I'm cutting me a piece of contact paper. I found out using the contact paper is the best choice for transfer tape for me personally. I'm not saying that the other, I have not used the Cricut transfer tape, and I would love to get some of the paper transfer tape, so I may do that in the future. But I bought some transfer tape offline from somewhere, and that stuff was so sticky. You've seen it in the other videos I've done. It takes forever to get that stuff to release these letters. Now that could be, the type of vinyl I'm using. I'm not sure, but I'll get better at it, guys. I'm just working on it. This is a learning curve and process. Now I'm going to take some Mod Podge and put over the top of it, basically just to keep the stickers in place so they don't fall off through the holiday season. And this is, again, a year later, and they're still going strong. I'm hoping to get all this stuff decorated into the house, and when I do my 23 and 23 updates, you'll get to see that. And there goes my K, putting on there. I thought that just makes a subtle statement. It's easy. You take a pumpkin and a letter, you paint them and put them together, and you're ready to go. This side I'm going to do a twine bow on, which is my bow of choice, simply because not only is it a pretty design for a bow, but it's the simplest bow you can make, because I am not a bow maker. But that's a simple bow, and it looks really good on your projects. All right, guys, there is my two-sided, double-sided pumpkin sign. And on to the next project. This is my DIY fall truck. This one is one that I bought from Hobby Lobby. It has all different types of different things you can make. If you just want to use one truck, you don't want to store a bunch like I do, you just simply get you one of these, and then you take that little top piece that has pumpkins on it, you take that out and set it aside in a drawer somewhere, and it comes with, I think it's a 4th of July, Christmas, maybe Easter. Anyway, there's like 5 or 6 different little things that you can change your truck out with. I painted it in Kelly green because I thought green would go with any holiday, no matter which one it is. And I'm going to accent the little fenders in white. This is Waverly white chalk paint. So I'm just going to do all those little, and I think I'm painting the wheels, but I think I go back and paint the wheels black. Maybe that's the inside of the wheels, and then it has the other part of the wheels will be black. And this is the windshield and the hood. And I just took silver lining and put the silver on the bumpers, and the handle for the door, and the little mirror. And now I'm going back through, and the tire itself I'm painting in black. So that'll be the base color for my truck. I'm thinking that I went back over the hood in green because I didn't like the silver of the hood. So I've just got that all done, and now I'm painting the standard that's out there. It keeps all your wood and stuff from falling out of your truck. And I take some markers and I go through all over all those little pumpkins that goes in the back of it. I paint the front and back because they will be able to be seen from both sides. And then I take a green marker and paint in the leaves. And then I'm going to take another marker and go around and outline everything so it shows out really pretty on the back of the truck. It took me maybe paint drying and everything maybe 45 minutes to get that truck, and doesn't it look gorgeous? It's just a gorgeous little truck. And here we go with my Happy Fall Boys wreath. Anybody that knows me knows where that came from. I just got the wreath. It was a thrifted wreath. It had old flowers and stuff in it. I'm going to go through and pick out the ones that are still good and refresh them and take out all the stuff that's nasty that I don't want in there. And then we're going to replace it with new flowers and update it. We're going to make some little pumpkins that's going to have Happy Fall and the letter K on it, and even a little candy corn. That's going to be the decorations to put inside the wreath when we get it all done. We have new leaves to put on it, so it's going to be a really pretty decorated event. We'll put a wreath on it. A bow on it. We'll just decorate it all up. And then this particular wreath goes up to the place where we buried Kelly at, just on the property line. So that, we can decorate for her for the season. And the reason that we called it Happy Boys with a Z is because that's what she would always say. She would always call everybody, "Hey, boys." Now we will go on to DIY number 9. This is my pizza pan pumpkin. I just took an old pizza pan out of the stash where I'd done my 23 and 23 challenge this year. I had this one that I no longer wanted. So rather than throwing it in the trash, I just sanded it down and put me a good coat of pumpkin paint on both sides. I painted everything in the center, around the edges, and on the back. I think I end up putting 2 coats of paint on this because it is so old and kind of rusty that I wanted to make sure that it had a good coating of paint on it. So that is what I'm doing now. And then I am going to work on getting the decorations to put on it. And there we go. She's all ready. This first side, I have, have a sign that just says "Fall is in the air." I'm fuzzing my contact paper so it won't be quite so sticky because it's really hard to get certain, especially if you got a lot of little pieces in these Cricut designs. It's really hard to make sure that you get all of them to either weed out or transfer onto the transfer tape, and then transfer from the transfer tape onto the project that you want to put it on. I guess I'm a little impatient and like to have things that are done quick. But this is a project that you really need to take your time. If you're using a Cricut machine, which is a wonderful machine, I love my Cricut. When you get ready to transfer stuff, then you need to be real careful. If you noticed me looking at something, that was simply because I have misplaced the little dot that goes over the I in the word air. You really don't pay attention to it when you're seeing the sign, so I just left it off because it was too hard to find on that piece. And that's the things that you have to watch for when you're transferring a Cricut design, is all the little things, the little apostrophes, the little dots over your eye, and all that other stuff, because it is hard. Now on this side, I'm in black. I'm going to put the word Happy Halloween. So here I am weeding out, as you can see in in fast up time, that some of it comes off relatively easy, and some of it you have to be really, really careful with, because one, if you've used a font that is little, you can tear your letters in two, you can lose them in the transfer tape. So just be real careful as you're transferring any Cricut design to your project. But here it is. I've got Happy Halloween with that little spider on it. And you sometimes have to press a little harder to get it. Sometimes you have to start it with the weeding tool to get it to come up, or to get it to release on the other end. Just remember, be mindful to take your time in doing that. And sometimes, depending on the paint that you use, the transfer tape, no matter which kind you're using, has a possibility of pulling your paint up. So go real slow when you are pulling that transfer tape off. So now I've got some, just using the backing to smooth it down. I've got a spider web. So what I have done is I'm going to take that spider web and weed it, and then I'm going to cut it in half and put it on two different sections of this pizza pan. Now, if anybody would like to have a Cricut design, or a design made on a Cricut machine and cut out, you can let me know. We can design something for you and then cut it out for you, and even have it ready to go on your project if you like. Just give us a little shout on the email. All right, here is my spider web. I just cut it in half, and I'm going to put it on a couple different places on this pizza pan. So it looks like I tried to make it look like that spider was trying to jump off the words to get back onto his spider web. I don't know how well I accomplished it, but he's pretty close. So once I get all the spider web taken off and put onto the pizza pan, then I'm going to take me some Mod Podge and put over the whole thing to keep these stickers in place. Mod Podge is a really good sealer. It will not only keep your stickers down, but it'll seal your chalk paint into place. Now, I do have some white wax and some clear wax by Waverly that I had just picked up not too long ago. I would say probably I'll give that a shot when I do some more projects, just to seal in the paint. But I've had this, like I said before, I've had these projects for over a year and they're still in good shape. So the Mod Podge is doing a really good job keeping them from fading or something chipping off the paint. So Mod Podge is a good product to use, and it's not too expensive in the scheme of things. Now this is the fall is in the air, and that's a Happy Halloween sign. This is a Crop-A-Dile, a little bit more expensive craft tool, but absolutely one that I would get if I was you. because it will punch holes in tin, wood, plastic. It does a wonderful job. So I'm going to take this side, the fall is in the air, and I'm going to put white rope all the way around the outside edge of it. Just using your hot glue. Be careful, of course, hot glue is hot. And I have burnt my fingers many a time using the hot glue gun, as you all have seen on these shows. So just try to remember to be, slow and careful if you can. So there is that side, and I'm going to make a ribbon. This is a ribbon I got at Dollar Tree store. Just trying to gauge how big of a ribbon that I need. So what my easiest bow for this type of stuff is to just take and measure out how big you want it, fold it up so you can find the middle, then bring the bow, the curved part of the bow, back into that spot, and then you stack them on top of each other. I took another little piece and folded it in thirds to use to go around the center of it. So when you scrunch the center up, you can just put a little hot glue on it and wrap it all the way around that center section, just like you see in the video, and then hot glue it again to seal it up. And there's your bow. Now you take, because they're wired ribbon, you take and fluff that bow out, and now you got you the cutest little bow. And simple. No hard things of learning or nothing. Then I took another string of it, and I just folded it up where both good sides would be towards the outside. And then I just hot glued those together and stuck them on the pizza pan. If you hear Jinx in the background, he's in here in the bedroom with me as I'm doing this voiceover. So he just wants to be petted, loved around on too. He's Christy's cat that I watch. All right, now you take this bow, and after I put it on with Velcro so it could be taken off and stored where it wouldn't fall off during the wintertime. But you just put it on there, and that way you can remove that bow. And when you turn it over to the Happy Halloween side, I'm going to take that one and put in some jute rope around the outside edge so that it will finish this side off. I think it turned out to be a really cute, I've got it hanging on my door in there now for this year for the fall, for the fall season and Halloween season. And it's, like I said, it's holding up really good. This bow is going to be made out of the bat ribbon the exact same way that I just made the last one. You just simply take and fold it in half to find the middle, then fold back to the middle with your bow, with your little loops, and make two. But this one I made of both the same ribbon because it's black and white with the black to match the words. And then here I'm going to take that little piece and make the center section just like I did before. Put it together, scrunch it up, and put that little center piece on. And guys, that's really an easy bow. I don't remember seeing anybody do it on TV, but it just made sense to me. And since I do struggle hard with making bows, I try to find the easiest ones that I can do to make the projects look good. And this wired ribbon with that little design of making the bow just is so easy. And to make the tail separate from the bow just makes sense to me because you get the same look. You just don't have to worry about having the all the struggles of trying to hold it all in your hands to get it. My hands will go into a lot of cramps, but neither here nor there. Then I'm going to take it and I'm going to dovetail the end of this one the same way I did the other one. Now when you're hanging these up, you don't have the bow for the fall side holding out the thing on the Halloween side, or vice versa. You just detach the bow and go. All right, there is that particular one all done and ready for you all to try. If you happen to try any of these videos, just give me a little comment down on the bottom and say, hey, I tried this, or send me a picture. I would love to have a picture. I'll be glad to post them up on my website when I receive them that you've tried one of my projects. Some of these projects I have watched somebody else do and made a variation of my own. Some of them I've come up on my own, but I would love to showcase yours. Number 10 is the marshmallow pumpkins, and you've seen me make these pumpkins several times before. I just take the little blocks from the Dollar Tree that comes 2 in a package. And I take and cut the neck off of a 12-inch balloon. That is the size that works the best. I was going to put this one with a face on it first, but then I thought, well, I've got solid orange balloons, so I'm going to go and use the solid orange ones and save the one with the face on it, because you have to put 3 balloons on each one. So I take the solid balloons and I put 2 solid orange balloons on each one. I make 2 of them, put them on to start with, and then I take the pumpkin face balloon and put that over as the 3rd balloon. And that way, when you get it on, if you get it on there correctly, you have your little pumpkin. Now, if you don't have the little pumpkin face balloons, which I think came from Dollar Tree store, if you don't have those, just simply draw your pumpkin face on there. Don't let anything that you don't have, just because you don't have all the things to do it with, stop you from doing anything. And that's even if you're doing cooking or crafting or whatever. There are things that you can make differently. And now for this one, the only thing I've got left to do is put me some little stems on it. So I just got me a branch out in the yard. I didn't even have to do anything different. I just took a little piece of a branch and broke it up into a couple pieces and put them on. And they turned out adorable. They'd be perfect on a tier tray or a shelf or whatever you wanted. DIY number 11 is next. That is my pumpkin wagon. Now this was a idea that I tried to put together myself, and I think I did fairly well with it. All I did was take some paint stir sticks that I got offline. I think I ordered them through Amazon. I think I got like 100, or I think maybe it was 200 for a relatively easy price. If I find them, I'll maybe send the link. I'm not sure how to do that yet, but if not, just Google them on Amazon and you'll find little paint stir sticks. And they're relatively easy cut. I have one of those miter shears, but you can do it with some heavy duty scissors if you, because they're not that thick. They're thick, but not that thick. Or you could use a craft knife. So what I'm doing here is I'm taking those little tiny blocks that you also get from the Dollar Tree store, and I'm putting one on each of the 4 corners of this little wagon to be able to put the 4 wagons together. Now, I am not a contractor, guys, so it just seemed like it would work in my head. You know, sometimes you can think things up and they work. And this one just happened to work for me. So now I put a 3rd on each side so that I have something that I can glue my base to. And I'll take those, I think to take craft sticks. They're larger than a popsicle stick, but about the same shape. And I decide what size I need, cut them down, and I glue them in the bottom of the wagon with a little slat in between them, which most things do, porches, wagons, whatever, so the water will drain through and not rot the porch out. So I'm just getting those, cutting it all down to size. Sorry, I am tired. I didn't sleep well. I just put them in the bottom. Now I'm going to take that and I'm going to paint it in pumpkin orange. Oh, I forgot. I put the little handle on for the wagon. I took a popsicle stick this time and I slant cut the end of it, and I stuck it on there. And you have to hold stuff down. Hot glue does not mean fast glue. It just simply means that it will, once the glue dries down or cools down, it will hold things better. So you have to hold it for just a little bit so the glue will dry down. Now I've taken 8 poker chips and I'm going to glue them together. That is going to become my wheels. I found that poker chips are the best wheels for small things that you want to make like that you can find, because they're good and sturdy, they're good and thick, and if you need them to be thicker, just paint them. So the wagon, like I said before, I'm going to paint in the pumpkin orange, and I paint every single bit of it in the pumpkin orange. That way it's all one design. Inside, outside, those little blocks, everything that there is, painted all the same color. That way when your little wagon is riding down the road or sitting on the shelf or the tier tray, because mine fit on my tier tray just fine, you'll be able to see orange from every angle. And now I'm taking those little poker chips that I have glued together that they've set up good, and I'm going to paint them black and let them dry. This is ink by Waverly. And I love this color black. And it goes on really smooth, and usually one coat will cover that. Okay, now we're ready to put the wheels on. And all you have to do with that is about halfway down, put you a thing. Now make sure you set it on the tabletop so that you can make sure your wheels are matching up, so they ain't all whopper job when you're driving down the road. So there is my wagon all together. Now to the inside of it, I just take a little piece of cardboard or chipboard and put it in the bottom so I don't have any of that hay fall through. This is one of those little things of hay that you get from the Dollar Tree store. And now I'm just going to load it up with pumpkins. It's my pumpkin wagon. So I put 2 orange on the back and 2 white ones on the front. And then I have an orange one and something else on the top. Oh, pine cone. I knew I put something else on the top of it. Look at that. And there's a cute little pine cone up on top. And there is my wagon, all ready to be set on my shelf. Need to find that so I can put it up on my shelf for this year. I'm sure it's in the fall stuff out there. All right, on to DIY number 12. It is a refresh pumpkin. This pumpkin was a lighted up jack-o'-lantern pumpkin that I had for many years in my Halloween decoration stuff. So I didn't want to use it. I'm getting out of the all that kind of stuff. So I took the Waverly paint, the black paint, painted over the whole thing. And because it still had the little pumpkin face on it that's carved into the plastic, I said, oh, okay. So I'll go and find me some ribbon. This ribbon come from the Dollar Tree store. And I just cut it into the shape that it needed and put it all the way around the thing. And there it is. Still lights up. You can still see it through there. And then I took some jute twine and covered up the whole stem on it. And that's the end of that pumpkin. It's ready to go. Oh no, I'm sorry. I took a piece of brown felt and cut me out a circle to cover up that bottom. I like to have my projects finished as much as possible, just in case. We do have some of these things up on our website that are for sale. So if anybody would like to look and check, and if the one that you see in this video is one that you would like, just let me know. If I don't already have it on the website, I'll be glad to put it up there. And there she is, all nice and finished. And I got her sitting in my shelf right now, so she's ready to go. Oh, I added a leaf. I thought I did. I couldn't remember. And a sun. Look at that. And a sunflower. That's finished. Like I said, it's been a while since I've done these, so we are now on to DIY number 13. And it is my scarecrow, people. For this, you will need tumbling tower blocks. You measure 3 of them, or get 3 of them, and glue them together. You'll do that 3 times. Then you take the blocks, the 3 blocks that you glued together, and glue them standing on top of each other, which I put a pumpkin on top of, and then I set my little lady scarecrow down like she's tired. She's been walking for a long time. She needs a rest, like me. And the little boy pumpkin is standing up. So what we're going to do with her is we're going to, oh, somehow or another, I've got this in for her again. I guess the first one was for him and this one is for her. So now I needed to put a little stick to hold her back up to make her set up so she wouldn't be so leaning over. And I cut her little extra little pieces of hair off the bottom of her feet, and then I'm going to add a pumpkin for her to be holding. So I just glued those to her hand because that's what they were doing. They were going to the pumpkin patch and they were getting a pumpkin. But she wanted to take a little bit of break. Her and her brother went to get a pumpkin for their mom. So she's just taking a little break and he's standing there with her, waiting on her to rest, and then he'll take off again. I just put a little bow in the top of her hair so that it would look kind of girly, kind of cute. I think she does pretty good to carry that big old pumpkin. But there she is, all done. Ain't she cute? Now we're going to go back to the boy pumpkin. And he's already setting up on his little pumpkin, waiting around. So we're going to trim him up just a little bit because they got their straw has got out of shape. So just give a little haircut, a little trim. There's Jinxie up visiting. And so now I'm going to add a little something to his hair and his little shirt so that he has everything that he needs. So now we're going to take and add a pumpkin, his pumpkin that he's carrying, to his hands, because he's sitting there holding that pumpkin, waiting on her to be ready to go to work. So now you'll see whenever I put them both together and she's standing up there, he just almost throws that pumpkin. He's like, I'm tired. I got to go. Let's go. Let's go. So there they are. Now they're sitting there ready to go and get up and head back to their mom, take that golden pumpkin to their mama. Alrighty, now we're on to DIY number 14. This is an acorn sign. I went to Dollar Tree and I found this acorn sign last year, and I thought, well, I like this, so I'm believing this is nutmeg paint, the color of nutmeg. So I just kind of freehand what the cap would look like on the acorn and paint both the front and the back in that color paint. It was, I wanted to kind of look like a cap. So, that's why I painted the whole thing, the top. I don't know whether you'll be able to see the back from where you hang it at or not, but it still was something that I wanted to do, get the front and the back, get it all finished up. Oh, you could take the back and make a double-sided. You could have painted the back in a different color than what you paint the front. It's all in what you want to do and how you like it. So I'm taking the pumpkin paint because I look at the little acorn that you see right there in my hand and see the colors of it. And I thought, well, I'm not real sure what the color of an acorn is, but this works. If it's on that one, Dollar Tree sold it, we'll just give it the same colors. So I'm painting it in front and the back in the pumpkin orange. Now you'll see, I think it's on the back, I have a little bit of that nutmeg. That was hard to cover up. So I had to put a couple of coats of paint over it. I'm still not 100% sure I got it all covered up, but there we go with the base of the pumpkin paint, or the acorn painted. And then I took a lighter color brown. I'm not sure what color. I think this is Sierra something. And just tried to make the little ridges. I did not do this very well, guys, because I just really don't know what an acorn looks like. I should have just put little cup things on it, but I went to making the little one, so that's what I just kept with. But it does give the design of a cap on there. And I'm almost to the top. There you go. Now, I've got this out of a scrapbook paper book that I have. I just cut it down to be able to put it on this acorn. And I put the Mod Podge on both the acorn and the piece of paper I wanted to put on the acorn. And it's just a little saying about autumn. So, then I trim off the edges. And you could use a sanding block to sand down off of it, but it didn't really seem like that it needed it. And I'm just adding a little bit of jute twine all the way around the outside edges, just to kind of frame that so it doesn't look like it's so much just stark like that. And then I'm going to take this harvest word and I paint it in a crimson red because I wanted it to really pop off of that sign, off that acorn. And if you painted it in orange, it would just simply blend in with bottom. So I wanted it to have a little bit of a pop. It still don't do as much as I would like for it to. And there's an upcoming project, so I will show you that in a bit. I was working in the dining room and all that was all together, so that's how come. And then I went and found me a bow. I love these little old plastic bows. I think I got them at the Dollar Tree. So, and an acorn in the center, and that is that project finished. All these are just simple projects. I just wanted to put them all together for you so that you'd have a chance to look. So I hope you're enjoying it so far. Number 15 is my pie pumpkins, and it is simply I took a old pumpkin that I had. I think I got these at Dollar General store or maybe Dollar Tree. Anyway, I took all the paper off of them and I traced around them, and I got the shape that I wanted out of another piece of scrapbook paper. You would not believe the scrapbook paper I have. It is unreal. But anyway, as trying to use up some of my stash, I used this to make the background because I thought it kind of looked like a pie crust. You know how they make those little crisscross pie crust things. And I'm going to put, I've got a pumpkin, I've got a pie and a slice of pie. So I'm making two of these little pumpkin covers with the same type of fabric. I'm just cutting down, I'm not wasteful, so I'm cutting down the parts of that can be used for another project. Taking Mod Podge, and I'm putting Mod Podge on the sign itself. I'm going to make sure that I cover every inch that I can, especially around the sides, because you do not want it to be lifting up on the sides. So you just put it on, smooth it out as much as possible so you don't have a big old thick glob of glue behind where you're putting your project at. I put my project down and rub around it pretty good so that I can heat that glue up so it'll set up real good with that pattern. As you can see, I left the back alone because I could turn this sign around and make me another double-sided sign if I want to. And there is that. So now on one of them, I take the pie itself and clean all those staples and stuff off the back of it because it was like a hanging up ornament or something. So I take those off, clean them up real good, and then I'm going to just take some hot glue and put around the back of it and center it as much as possible and put it on there. It's already got the words and everything, so it is ready to go. And then this is the pie that says give thanks. So those are just two cute little shelf setters. And that's how they look. I think they turned out pretty. Oh, on this one, I guess I add a bow on it. I love those little plastic bows. Those are pretty cool. All right, DIY number 16 is a fox pumpkin. I love this one. This is so simple. I'm taking the same two-sided pumpkin that I used in the very first project that we used here, a thankful word from Dollar Tree, and two little foxes I cut out of some more of that scrapbook paper. The only thing I'm going to do with this, I'm not painting it or anything. The only thing I'm going to do is take that Mod Podge and put it on these little foxes and Mod Podge them down into the location that I want them to be in so that they'll stay on there. And make sure that you get all the edges real good so that they will stay down. And that's a mommy fox and a baby fox. Or it could be a daddy fox and a baby fox. Anyway, it's a big one and a little one. And then the word thankful. And you should always be thankful for your kids. They are awesome. And there she is. DIY number 17 is coming up next. And it is the leaf bowl. And this was the one, oh, wait a minute. I'm still putting on the other one with the thankful on it. Oh my goodness, look how pretty that turned out. Oh my stars. And that would just be pretty hanging on your wall anywhere. Oh, and I'm going to add another twine bow to the end of this one. Like I said, the twine bows are the easiest. You just take your fingers, spread them out, wrap them around, round, pull the center up, tie you another piece of jute on it, and your twine bow is done. It's simple, simple, simple. All right, now we're coming to the end of this project and on to the leaf bowl number 17 out of 24. So you just got a few more left to go through, and none of them are very long, so hang in there with me, guys. All right, to do this one, I just took a bowl out of my kitchen. And don't stress, this bowl was not harmed in making this craft. Not a bit. Took a piece of wax or plastic wrap and put over the top of it. That is to protect the bowl, but also to give the leaves a shape that I want to form it into. So I put me a couple of things on it to make sure that it's good and protected, because I like that bowl. With a pretty cool bowl. It's an older one, but I'm not using any major anythings around this that's going to hurt it. I started out with Mod Podge to try to get these leaves to stay, but as you'll see, these leaves are stiff and they do not like to stay in place for the time that it takes Mod Podge to set up. Although I tried, guys, I really did, because I wanted to dry clear, but it didn't work so much, so I had to go back to using hot glue. Oh, I think I might have got some wood glue. That didn't work either, but so I'm starting out with smaller, thinner leaves that the Mod Podge will stick onto. But you'll see in just a second, I switch over into the hot glue after I get this first on, because one, I didn't want to glue hot glue onto where it would get to that plastic, because then it would just stick. So after I get that first couple layers on of the little tiny leaves, I go back to some of the bigger leaves that are a little bit more harder to get on. But then I started using hot glue, because then I could just glue leaf to leaf. And when I had trouble with them laying down, I just put a little bit more hot glue and it held them down for a little bit. And I worked on this project, and I thought, and I worked, and I thought, but I think the end result turned out really cute. It's just a beautiful display to put you some little paper or styrofoam pumpkins in, or some acorns. You could even put candy and stuff, but it would not be a good idea to try to put something in it that was heavy that you wanted to pick up afterwards, because it doesn't have the structure on it that would be good for that, but it's good for just setting up and putting your decor in. And it turned out to be a really pretty result. And there is the final project. And it does turn out to be bowl shaped. And you can put stuff in it, because I have it filled with pumpkins and setting in my shelf. So you can do that. It's just a matter of patience and trying. And there we go. That's it. Now we're going to be going on to DIY number 18. This is along the same line. Although we're using foam leaves that think I purchased these at Michael's. We're just going to take them and separate them out into the design that we think that we want, and the amount of letters that we need. These letters are Dollar Tree letters. They come in different forms. They used to come just like that, and now they come in a big page. But they're about the right size for these leaves, so you just put them on. Try to making your letters match up as good as possible. Don't have to be 100%, because they're not really going to be completely side by side, although they will be in the same area. Taking my crocodile again, making a little hole in the top to string them through the twine. The crocodile is a little bit more expensive tool you'll find. I think it runs between $20 and $25, but it is the best hole puncher you will get, because it can punch through a lot of different things that you would want to craft with. So I like mine. In fact, I like it so well, I have not only the handheld, but I also have the Big Bite crocodile. And there is my Happy Thanksgiving sign that I put across my bulletin board in the hallway. And it turned out very pretty. I really enjoy it. So now we will be going on to DIY number 19, my owl sign. I don't know where I picked this little owl up. I'm thinking Dollar General store, but I don't know. It could have been a yard sale find. But anyway, I wanted to give him a little upgrade. Signs like that are perfect to hang up. If you want to get them and just hang them on the wall, absolutely. But being as that I am crafty, and I do like to do crafts, and I do like to make things over for you guys while I'm in the process, I decided to upgrade this little sign. This is a paint by Waverly, but maybe sandal. I'm not sure. That it's a light brown color. But any color you want to use to upgrade your picture, you choose. This is just the ones that I chose. They're close and similar to the colors that are on there, but because they are fresh paint, it just brightens it up. And since I really wasn't crazy about that particular type orange, I put my orange in with some dark brown paint. I think this is maybe burnt umber. And tried to make me a little bit different color brown, because I didn't want to have an orange just like it is there, an orange pumpkin and an orange. I wanted to have just a little bit of variation in color. So now we're off to painting our little owl. And he's turns out really cute. This is a subtle change in the color, not a massive change, because I like the way he looked to start with, but I just wanted to give him a little bit of a refresh. Some of the stuff sits in my storage for a while, and it gets a little bit dull. So, you can take, if you like something that you found, even if you found something at a yard sale and you like it, remember, paint is just paint. If you don't like the color you put on, let it dry and paint over it. It's all just paint. And if you get the apple barrel paint at Walmart, I think it's only like 59 cents a bottle. So you could just have yourself a good old time. just refreshing the stuff that you like yourself that is starting to show some age. So, alright, so I put my little demented lines in my pumpkins. And now I thought this was cute. I used some sunflowers for the eyes of that little owl. Isn't he cute? I just think that just made up. I took a welcome sign and I'm going to just glue that little welcome sign right in the middle of him. And I don't know whether I did or not, but I know that I did put the string back on it. And it looks like I'm going to, well, yep, I'm going to do it right there on camera. I thought I'd put the string back. I knew I did because I hung it up. So I knew I had the hanger on it. It's hard to remember everything. I have 163 videos. If anybody has not checked me out and you're checking this one out for the first time, please just check out the other playlists that we have. We have multiple ranges from spring all the way up to Christmas. I have a lot more that I'm planning on putting up. And on to the DIY number 20, the pie sign. And this is just those two little pie recipes. One's for a pecan pie, one is for a pumpkin pie, and I simply took a tumbling tower block and put it together. That's how I put those signs together to hold them that way. And then to further hold them into that fashion, I'm going to take a ribbon and go all the way around the outside edge so that those two will stay together. That way, if you're a pumpkin pie person and you want to make a pumpkin pie, you can turn that recipe right around to you and have it in your kitchen while you're making your pumpkin pie. If you're a pecan person, you can then just turn it around the other side. Or if you want to change out day to day, you can switch it from side to side. It's just a cute little way of displaying your recipes out into the middle of everywhere. I cut the ribbon down and fix it in, and then I'm going to go, because one side's just a little bigger, I could cut it off, but I decided on the one side I was just going to frame that recipe and just put that wired part of the ribbon all the way around to make a little frame with. And it turned out pretty cute. You can just set it up, like I said, and enjoy making you a pie. It does have the full recipe on it. So, by all means, if you get this little thing, just set it up and make your pie. I have not made a pecan pie. However, I did, for my last Facebook Live, made a pumpkin pie that did not have cinnamon in it. And it was delicious. I can now have my favorite pie at a holiday. And then I just put some leaves and, of course, another acorn, because that is my fall motto, was last year. So there is pecan pie side, and to go to the other side is pumpkin. Are you a person that says pecan or pecan? Let me know. Number 21 is our Thanksgiving truck. That is, this one I built this one. I took 2 trucks from the Dollar Tree store that has little pumpkins up in the back of them, and lots of tumbling tower blocks. That is the set of standards. And what I did was I took them off of one side of the truck to put them on the other side of the truck, because in order to make a 2-sided truck, you have to do that, because if not, it'll be on the inside, not on the outside. So now I'm going to take these trucks and I'm going to paint them in pumpkin. I'm going to paint everything on these trucks in pumpkin. And then, except maybe the fenders. I can't remember. I think I paint the whole thing, except the fenders in the pumpkin. And then I go back and paint the fenders in white. So there we go. We're getting it all painted. And when you're painting both sides of a thing, but you're painting 4 sides in total, sometimes you forget to paint something. And I forgot to paint those pumpkins on one, but don't worry. I come back and paint them in a little bit. So it'll be fine. And now I'm going to take a brown and paint the fenders, because that's what I wanted to paint. That is going to be the little blocks that puts it together. I wanted to paint those in the brown as well. And that way, you know, when you see it from the side, you won't just see naked tumbling tower blocks. But you'll see how I put it together in just a second. And now we're going to paint the little standards in the brown paint. Standards are just simply the wooden pieces that are high above the bed on the truck that holds in if you're hauling anything of any height to keep it from falling out. Some people might call them something else. My husband has always called them just standards. So that's where I got that particular word at. If you have another name for the wooden parts that hold stuff in the truck, please feel free to put that in the comments below, and I might learn something. I'm always up to learn new things. That's my motto of every day since I've been an adult, is to learn something new every day. That's why I am such a YouTubeaholic. You would not believe how many things that you could learn in that school system. I can understand why some classes are online, but you have to make them fun. You have to make the things that you're teaching people fun, or they get bored easy. All right, so now we're just touching up the paint. You know, when you paint 2 or 3 different colors together, sometimes that paint does what it wants to. All right, so like I said, 4 sides, you got a lot of touch up. Here in just a second, I'm going to take the tumbling tower blocks and put these things together, and believe it or not, I am going to make a hood and a top for this little thing. See, told you I was going to paint those pumpkins. Yep, you have to have an orange pumpkin. I guess you could have I could have done a green one too. I mean, a blue one too. That's the colors for this year. They seem to be going. And now we're just going to paint the outside of the tires in the black paint. And remember, when you're doing this, you have to paint all 4 sides. You can't just paint the outside. You have to paint the inside as well. So for these, I'm going to put something on the outside of them. So I just went ahead and painted the whole thing black. And then I'll put those little pieces on the inside here in a second. And there's the pieces. So I'm going to paint them in an orange because I want the hubcaps to be orange. I do not know where these little circles come from. I could not tell you. So these I don't think I have them on. I think I just left that the color. So I'm painting them orange too, and touching up again where I see I've missed, because you'll see 100 places that you miss. Now I'm putting the hubcaps on. There we go. Now, oops, I still missed one to paint, and there we go. I caught it. If you would think, oh, well, it's, you know, just paint the whole, no. When your mind is thinking one thing, it does what it wants, and you just have to catch up. And see, now my little truck is going to be 2-sided. I'm going to put my little tumbling tower blocks in. This is going to be the inside of my bed. That's what I'm doing with that. And that's going to be, I should have done a wider bed, but hey, this works. So I'm measuring what the size I need and cutting it down. Those scissors did not do it. So there's me a good pair of scissors that will cut, mark it, cut it, and paint it, because you have to have it painted just the same as you do the rest of the truck, because you do not want to see that plain wood after you went through all the trouble of painting everything else. So I'm just painting. That's what I do a lot of. I must like to paint because my projects almost always have some kind of painting in them. I like the ones that don't, because you don't have to wait, but what I did right there is I'm marking where to try to get it even so that I can and I couldn't figure out how to do it. So what I'm going to do is paint me a little tiny bit of orange paint and put that from side to side, not thinking in any way, shape, or form that that's not going to help you any, because that's orange on the other side too. So I just wing it. I just put them on where I think they're supposed to go. And they match up pretty good. Because you don't want your truck to be lopsided. You don't want one tire on one side and then one tire on the other side. So now that it matches up, I'm going to take and put some glue, put my inside bed together so that now my truck can stand up. So I did that part and I thought, oh my gosh, I've got an open truck in the front. So now I have to take more tumbling tower blocks and figure out how to get the bottom to stay out so it's not flopping in when it's standing up. So I decided I'm going to put tumbling tower blocks, but 3 of them is too much and 2 of them is not enough. So I took me one of the popsicle sticks and cut it down to the right size, and I'm going to sandwich it in between the 2 blocks. And then I'm going to put them in the inside. That just holds the bottom out where it needs to be. Now you're talking about somebody that does not know anything about construction or anything else. So I am very proud of myself that I took the time and the energy to learn how to put this stuff together to make it work. And while it is a work in progress, please remember, guys, this is the first one I made like this. So I think that it turned out pretty good. And since I'm putting these on the bottom where the black is going to show because it's near the tires, I decided that I would paint them black. So then I took another popsicle stick and I'm going to make a hood. Well, you can see that my hood comes in a little bit on the narrow side, so I had to cut it down a little bit. And I put it on there and it says it works real good. So then I decided, well, better make a top and a back and a windshield. And so I just marked them, kept putting them on there until they looked right. And I'm not too awful, don't feel too awful bad about the way this turned out. I think it turned out really cute for somebody that doesn't know how to make anything to put a full truck together. Yep, Johnny Cash has been proud of me. So, because I'm doing it one piece at a time. just like he did. I thought the world of Johnny Cash. Now I have a little teeny tiny piece at the top that didn't fit, so I just cut me down a piece that fit in there. I could have just filled it in with hot glue and been done with it, but you know what? Didn't think about it. Until just now, actually. So now my hood fell off. Whoop, popped right off of there when I was trying to make the front of it. So I put the front on and then the hood back on. Now I'm going to paint it all the same color as the rest of the truck. Good thing I had a little bit more of that custom made color. Now this is one of those farmer calendars that you got a couple years ago. I think they got some new ones out now. This is the November little saying on it because this was the Thanksgiving video I did. And I just took it and Mod Podged it onto the side of the truck so you could know what the truck was for. I think it has kind of the same saying as one of the other things that I put on. But there we go. Now I'm going to take a piece of just styrofoam you get in any box that when you have something delivered. I keep everything, guys. And then, I'm sorry, I got a cough today. I took and put me a gnome down in it. I had bought this gnome at the Dollar Tree store, and he was so cute there wasn't anything I wanted to do to it. In fact, I think there's 2 of them sitting in there side to side, a man and a woman. And then I'm going to fill the rest of it in with pumpkins. And it just turned out to be the cutest little truck. I am so proud of being able to put this little truck together. So I just keep sticking pumpkins in wherever there's a spot that the styrofoam might have showed. If I knew then what I know now, I could have just covered it up with some Spanish moss and been done with it. But doesn't it look cute? I'm so tickled with it. It looks so cute. Now we're on to DIY number 22. And that is my Scarecrow tin. And all that is a big number 10 can. Number 10. Or if you have a metal coffee can. They don't make a metal anymore. I just cut the top and the bottom off. And then I took a hammer and hammered the bottom to where it's flat. Painted the whole thing in white Waverly chalk paint, and then again in the color Merlot chalk paint. I think I had to put 2 coats of the Merlot on there to cover the white, but it is a very pretty fall color. Then I put a whole bunch of leaf and Thanksgiving stickers on it with the little turkeys and everything. I put some more some of that foam down inside of it, to keep your flowers going. Cut all my flowers and leaves and everything down, and I stick those in to the flower arrangement. And then I add 2 more of the scarecrows from an earlier DIY. I had gotten several scarecrows, so I used 2 more of them and put them in there. Make the prettiest flower arrangement inside this tin can. I have used my crocodile to cut a couple of holes through the metal. Like I said, that thing does wonderful to cut holes. So if you need something to make, do a hole punch in something that's thick, like a book or something that you're working on, by all means check out the crocodile, because it does wonders. It's an investment in your craft place, but it's still a worthwhile investment. And I'm not sponsored by them, by the way. I just like them really, really well. Now goes in the scarecrows, and our finished product is done. There, I'm getting ready to put my string on. And there, we're done. Now we're on to DIY number 22. Or, excuse me, 23. This is my turkey. This is my favorite. This is what I really, really, really like. The turkey I painted in that little thin light brown paint. I'm pretty sure it's sienna, but I'm not sure 100% unless I go out yonder. So after I get it all painted, and I paint the little feet and the crown on the nose, and then I paint the thing that hangs down red, I get my mesh paint out, or my mesh stuff out, and I cut it. I think I cut it at 10-inch pieces, and then I just separate it and roll it on an angle, like a diagonal, to where it all comes together. And originally I was just going to fold it in half, like it was shown to me, and glue it on there, but for whatever reason, mesh and hot glue do not play fair with each other at all. They just don't like it. So in order for me to get it to do what I wanted it to do, I did the same thing, rolled it on a diagonal, but I cut me a little piece of twine and just simply glue or tied it to the bottom. Now the hot glue will stick to the twine, which will then stick to the wood. So it makes the cutest little set of feathers. And you really don't pay attention to the twine at the bottom of it so much. You just see that all folded up, and it looks really cute. And I put the whole layer of stuff. Now on the second one, I take some jute twine, some jute rope, and I go all the way around the body part with that jute rope. I just glue and keep going around and around and around in a circle, all the way onto the inside of that body. So you'll just see, that's all I'm doing, just moving that rope, and just keep wrapping it until it gets all the way to the inside. Once you get to the inside, you may see that it's a little bit more, there's a few little gaps open. If it is, just simply cut you down some little tiny pieces of the jute rope where the open spaces are. Just take you some little tiny pieces, cut them up, scrunch them up, and put a little hot glue in and fill it in. And that way you have all the little areas all closed in. And then I go through, when I get done, I go through with the marker, the Sharpie marker, and put a little bit of definition in on this, the face and stuff. So that'll be the end of this project. Put him a little eye and just decorate his little head, and everything goes good. And then as soon as we get this done and showcasing, we'll be on to the final project. I know you all are getting tired of going over this all together, but I enjoyed making them. Our last and final project for today is my tuna can basket, and I am so proud of this thing. So proud. All I did was take 2 tuna cans, stripped off the wrapper off of them, and painted them. I think I painted them in that Merlot color, some kind of dark brown color. And then when I'm done, I take the clips out of the middle of clothespins. You can separate them, put them away for another project, and then just take and glue them. You glue the flat side to the can. That leaves that little indentation that did have the clip on it to the outside. You just keep gluing all the way around that can until you get it all done. Then when you get done in those little indents, you take a piece of jute rope and put it all the way around it to make it look like your basket. And then what I'm doing here right now is I'm taking another piece of that jute rope and making little tiny handles. And those turned out to be the absolute little cute basket. And you could use them for any season. It wouldn't just have to be for fall. You could fill them with Easter eggs in the summer, and little laundry, use them for a little laundry basket for the summertime. Put your little pieces of cloth in there and make clothes, just whatever. And now we are going on to the slideshow, and I'm going to just let you listen to some music until we get to the end of this slideshow. As you watch through this slideshow, if you see something that I did not showcase on this, I do probably still have a video on it. If you see something that you like, that you might want to purchase that's not up on the website, please let us know. We'll be happy to find it and put it up on the website for you. We have enjoyed making not only the crafts but the videos, and enjoyed spending the time with you over the past year. We are currently at 405 subscribers. We would love it if you are watching us for the first time, if you would subscribe, like, comment, share this video with anybody and everybody that you want to, and we will have a wonderful next year of new crafts and new stuff and new enjoyments for you all to enjoy after you as you've subscribed, and just turn your notification bell on to be notified when we put the new one up. So I'll let you finish listening to the music. Coming up is my fall tier trays. I have several of them through the house, so I have them all styled with different fall variety of things. Different ways that you can do them, different ways you can look at them. There's lots of different things in them, so I just wanted to pop in and say, hey, hope you're enjoying watching, looking, and if you haven't heard of a tier tray, or you would like me to do more tier tray projects, please feel free to comment in the bottom. I want to thank you again for all of the view hours that you've given me. If you're watching to this end of this video, you are so special. This helps us out so much. We're working hard. We're close to our 4,000 viewed hours. We like about 100 hours. So if we could get several of you that are members just to put this on, sit down and have you a cup of coffee, or put it on and do your dishes and just let it run from beginning to end, it would be great. Thanks for watching. Y'all have a wonderful day, and until we see you next time, God bless you. Bye-bye.